Hello and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to, I guess it's going to be a new series. I think it's going to be a new series because I'm going to try and come back and show you my progress and maybe even some layout shares, and who knows, maybe a little bit of a process for this project. So if you watched Christie's 2021 Crafty Goals video, you saw that she is organizing her photos and she is organizing some of her family albums to complete some of the older albums. She's been doing the family albums for about 6 years now. I think she said she started somewhere in 2013. And all of a sudden, she found that as the years were going on, of course, and her lovely family was growing, she was getting albums and albums. And I think, maybe one year was like 3 or 4 albums. And that's just too much. So she wanted to start planning them a little bit, planning the photos, and maybe using pocket pages to supplement some of the layouts. I hope I'm saying that right. But in any case, I'm going to link her goals video down below because I am totally borrowing her idea, and I really loved the idea that she was doing and the organization that it implied. And it reminded me of all of the travel albums that I have from my backpacking trip. The 1 year I spent backpacking around Europe from 2005 to 2006. I think every single album is in the works, but I visited 21 countries. So every single album is in the works, but I think there are only 2 or maybe 3 that are actually completed. I think I came to show you the Scotland one. In fact, I did a little bit of this process with you for Scotland and maybe Portugal, and I think I might have finished Austria, but I don't think I've ever shared that with anyone. In any case, so it gave me that idea. Now, my trip, at least for me, was pre-digital for the photos. So I have all these photos developed and waiting, and some of them have CDs. Back in the day, they would put the photos on a CD for you so that you could upload them to your computer. So most of them have that, and most of them have been uploaded to my computer. So I may not need all of these photos. And of course, in those days as well, I was using a regular camera. So you didn't just flip it over and then delete at the end of the day the photos that you didn't want. So many of the photos are not great. Some are not usable. Some are 3 or 4 or 5 shots of almost the same photo. So I thought I would do that because I have 2 big bins, like 2 big photo storage boxes still full of photos. And I'm pretty sure that I have probably less than 100 or so layouts left to do because I have over 500, if not 600 layouts from that trip. So I decided to take the Italy because it's almost complete. It had a lot of photos that I probably don't need to use, and a lot of photos that could maybe just be put in pocket pages as opposed to being layouts to start this process. So this particular portion of the trip was from Venice and then down into Bari on the Adriatic coast and then to Rome. I was not a scrapbooker during this trip as well, so there are some stories that I'm realizing that I did not tell or that I did not record that should be added. So I'm going to start. So this album, I've ordered a couple of 3D ring albums because, as you can see, I have most of the album here filled, and I have the Venice portion out here, and these need to go into one album. So that should be arriving, I think, early in the week, so I can get it properly organized. But so this is sort of the first page in that album, and it's right infinite. You see, I started scrapbooking as soon as I got back from my trip, so that would have been mid-2006. So some of these are very, very old, and some of the very first layouts that I did, as this is here. And I'll come back and do an actual share of this and talk a bit more. But today I really just want to look at the process of what I need to do. So what I noticed here that was missing to begin with is I stayed on the mainland in a campground, and the camping, and they had these little, sort of like little, almost little cabins, because I was not camping with a tent, but into these little cabins. That was on the mainland, and there were water buses. You could take water taxis as well, but water buses to go to the mainland. And that's quite unique and quite different. And for some reason, I have not recorded that at all. I did not have any photos of the campground, so I just went on to Google, got those, created a couple of collages, printed those photos out, and I'll be able to do, I think this will be 2 layouts. I will do one of the actual campground and then one that talks about the water buses. And in my photos, not very good photos, but you can see here, this is sort of like a bus stop. Oh, this is just another little photo that I might choose to do. And then this is a photo from the bus, I think. So I've got a few photos, and this will go at the beginning of the album, you see. And then I realize that I go in and I have a lot of the stories and all of the bridges within Venice. Some of these layouts I did a little bit more recently. Close-up of the bridges. There's some journaling on all of them. Then, of course, the actual San Marco Plaza, that we are there. And this is a fun photo from there as well. Oh, that's not supposed to be there. There we go. Photo of just a kitty cat that I met in that trip. And then this is at the end of Venice. But in one of these photos, I talk about, in one of these layouts, I do talk about getting lost in the residential streets. And I think this is maybe why I put this photo, because I didn't talk about that. And that's just sort of walking in the streets. So there you go. That's the Venice portion. And you see, then that will be finished and done. And then we went to Bari, and that is a train ride down there. And really the only reason we went to this small town was to try and get on a ferry to go over to Greece, which was the original idea, as opposed to going to Rome and staying in Italy. But at this point, it was August, I was in Italy. I could not get on a ferry to save my life. Met a couple of fellow travelers who were trying to do the same thing as me. And so I just have sort of this one photo, and then this explains a little bit why I decided to go off to Rome after. But I do have another photo that I want to scrap here that I showed you this morning. Do I have it here? Oh, I don't know where I put it now. Yeah, you see, I do have another photo that I showed you this morning when I was doing my Fun Friday finds. That was a bad photo that I wanted to scrap, which will talk about meeting fellow travelers, deciding where to go since I couldn't get onto the ferry. And that will sort of be the bridge and the transition into the Rome portion of the album. And then this is where we get into here. And some of these I'd done a while ago. So there we go. So this is not very well organized, but there you go. So here we have, and this, though, the reason this is out of the page protectors, I had to take this out. It was falling apart completely. And I'm pretty sure I didn't put it back together right, because I have this little dot down here. So I have a feeling maybe originally anyway, I just put it back this way for now, and we'll see. So the Piazza di Spagna, of course. So this now is Rome, the Trevi Fountain. Now, this is the Colosseum, and I have a few let me see, where did I put those? I have some photos ready for here as well. Oh my gosh, I thought I was better organized. Well, I was, but I don't know what I did now with these photos. Where did I put them? Oh my goodness me, I'm telling you, I'm organized and disorganized at the same time. Well, anyway, so I did select a few of the photos from this big pile that I would like to do another layout with here or did I do, oh, here they are, you see? No, that's just, anyway. So, Colosseum, but there's quite a bit there, and one of the big things in Rome, of course, is runes. So I still have quite a few photos. Here they are, there we go, of runes. So you see now this is a different view of the Colosseum. Now you see, I don't really know if I need to do anything with that. We'll have to see. But I have some other ones here, which I don't know whether I'll do a layout or just a pocket page. I think this one I would like to do a layout because I just love this view and I love these photos, particularly this one. So I think I might do a layout with that. And that is sort of, you know, different views within the Colosseum and the different rooms. And I think this one might also be a layout. So I have these ready to go over here. And then here, see some more of the different rooms. So I don't know whether that, but I know I want to get them into the album because I do find that they are, I went through all of the photos and chose a few that I still wanted to get into the album. And because this also talks of some different stories, not just about the runes, but how there are still so many of them, and so many of them are underground, and therefore why Rome doesn't have a very developed metro system, for instance, is another little story angle. Now, this photo here is on the way to St. Peter's, and then I have some St. Peter's Basilica, and then I have some other photos here, which are sort of, you know, this is before I even go. And then you see here, I could do a layout here of walking and getting closer and closer, and then really being there. So I think I might get another one of these layouts done to go along with this. You see, then here's one inside St. Peter's, and then I have so many photos. So what I did here is I basically took some pocket pages and did 2 pocket pages. So these are 6 by 4, and this is 4 by 6, and these are quite a few photos that I took within that I can just put in here. I might do a little teensy little bit of decorating in some of the areas here. Maybe not. They don't necessarily need them. I'm not worried, and Christy mentioned this in her video as well. I'm not worried about the back of this for now. I might just put cardstock to make it look nice, or some pattern paper, or nothing at all. I'm not quite worried, but then none of these need actual layouts, but I did want to get quite a few of these into the book, so they will fit nicely in here. And I may have some more, and then you see here are some more, and I've got some areas here where I can add or not some layouts that go along with it. This is the Pantheon, as is this, the Pantheon, actually. This is not in St. Peter's Basilica. So, the Basilica. So, I need to just really maybe put these 2 together, and I don't know that I need to do anything more. And then you see, I still have tons of photos here, but you see these, I'm not going to need to do anything more now. This is not a good shot at all. This is just a traveling companion who, there you go, don't really need to document that. Some drawer, I don't really know why that's there. I don't know, I'm going to put this here because talking about doors might be fun. Some more you see these? I think it's probably the Pantheon. Yeah, see, that looks like that. And I don't think I need another one of those. So don't need that probably. Some other photos. Trevi Fountain. I did do a lot of the photos. Some more columns and rooms. Think I have enough of those. Just walking some of the narrow streets. I'll put that there. We'll see. That was still back in Venice. Just a totally missed shot of some sort. Just a fun, don't know, maybe talk about some of these. That's a very specific detail, so I might do something with that. Just a very bad shot. Lovely sort of sunset, but the rest of the photo is not really very usable, and there's not much to say there. This was just a little bit of a silly thing within Rome of some photos. I don't think I really need to record that. This was just a story of these guys trying to catch people. They would run up to you and get their photo, and then they would ask you for like 20 euros or something. But I didn't get trapped in it, didn't get caught in it. So I don't know that I need to record any of that. Might need to do something with that. Pretty sure I don't need to do anything with any of these, because the majority, and this, you know, again, some more, there's only so many of the photos that I need, and some of these are not very good. So there you go. So the rest of these photos might just not be required, and I can get rid of, I know, get rid of these. But you have to remember, like in those days, all of these photos, for me to actually see them, I just had to get them printed. I do have copies. They are on my computer, and I may one of these days try and figure out that cloud thing. I don't really know where that cloud is, but anyway. So these just might get... Can you recycle photos? I think I've heard that you can't. I hope you can. I'm going to research that. But anyway, that might be the end of those. And unfortunately, I do have, for all of the other albums, many other photos. Then this was just the fun story of leaving Rome. And I've told you this one before, where because we were in August and I went to the train station on the morning it was time for me to leave Rome, and there were various places that I wanted to go, a couple of places in France. I would have liked to get across to Corsica. Anyway, long story short, everywhere at the ticket counter, because it was August and everybody's on holiday in August and everybody that lives in Rome is leaving Rome for the month of August, I would go to the tickets and I'd like a ticket for there. No, for there. No, there was no room, no place, no room. And I eventually just looked at the guy and said, okay, where can I go? And his answer was Bern in Switzerland, which is where I went. So this will go into another album more than likely, but I might leave just one page in there to just bring it over, or we'll have to see. So that is the kind of thing that I'm going to try and do. So you see, out of all of this today, I picked up 5 more photos. I already had here about 3 layouts. Might get another couple out of this. Quite a few photos that I'm pretty convinced that I don't need. Some pocket pages with just the photos. And then this whole album will be organized, planned, and I hope done, maybe not in January, but definitely by February and maybe January. So there you go. Tell me, would you like to see this evolve and see how I progress in making the pages, doing a little bit within them? Or would you just like me to come back at the very end when I've done it and do a share with perhaps a little bit more information about the trip itself? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm going to put Christy's 2021 crafty goals down there too, because you will see how she is doing this with digital photos and with more in a little bit some way of a project life approach or an everyday approach, but she is definitely documenting her family life. So a different perspective to this. Thank you for the idea, my little friend. And I will be back very, very shortly. See you soon. Thanks for being with me. Bye for now.